Hi, I'm Tiffany, and this is Broke On this channel, I do budget-friendly DIYs, thrift flips and hauls, trashy treasures, and more. Love is in the air today for the Small Creator Sunday Challenge. Hang out here for a little bit and see what I came up with for the Valentine holiday. So what I'm going to do is take this heart-shaped wreath form that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and I've got 3 different colors of macrame cord, and I'm going to do a hanging macrame piece with these things. So what I'm going to do is cut apart this wreath form, and then I'll use the macrame cord on it. So I've got the piece that I want to use here, and I'm going to do a gradient type thing. Red, pink, then white. So I'm going to start with a red, and I'm going to go across like the top part of it here with it. I don't know the terms to these. I just kind of do them after I look them up. But it's like a twisted knot. So I'm going to wrap a twisted knot around it, and I'm going to do like a you know, kind of like a gradient effect, the red and then the pink and then the white. So what I'm going to do first is grab a really long piece of red macrame cord, and I will do a square knot thing. See, a lot of a lot of cord. So to do the twisted knot is you do a square knot, and if you saw my little boho hanging shelf planter thing, I did show a square knot on that briefly, but what you do is you instead of alternating your knot loop directions, you go in the same direction every time, and then it creates a twist. So that's what I'm going to do to this. Now, after doing the top part in the red, I'm showing a little better how to do this particular knot. So I'm starting the pink section now. I'm going underneath. I'm going under the bar and going underneath that loop, as you can see there. So I'm pulling that. So there's one knot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it the same direction. Instead of alternating like you would with the other one, you go in the same direction. Then I'll go ahead and speed up through this so you can see the twist taking form. But you just tie this knot the same every time, and it goes around and around the bar. And yeah, it doesn't take long to start taking shape. You know, I just go all the way as far as I want the pink to go, and it's a little easier to do it this way because it's a smaller piece of cord. Because I'm doing, you know, a chunk of it on the left side, then a chunk on the right side as well. So as you can tell there, you can see it's starting to twist. So I'm just following it along over and over until I get about the length that I was looking for on that. It's a tedious process. I mean, it took me a long time to work on this only because I could only do so much. My hands started to hurt after a while pulling that tight, you know, but a lot of fun. So there I am. I've just tied it off, finish it up there at the end with a couple of lark's head knots to pull it nice and tight. I have them all done, and the next part is going to be hanging some feathers off of the heart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some beads because, of course, I'm going to add beads. So I'm going to do 6 of them, 6 beads, and then I can go from there. But I'm going to also I will do square knots and twisted knots and well, you'll see. I'm literally making this up as I go. I'm just starting to get into macrame, and so I'm just kind of going by things I've seen on Pinterest or, you know, Instagram, things like that. This is actually similar to something I saw on Pinterest. So what I'm going to do is hang alternating colors. So I'm going to do 2 red, 2 pink, 2 white, as you can see here. And I will thread that through later on in the process. So I'm just going to wrap the strands where I want them to hang down. So the red's going to be, you know, like right there where the red and the pink meet on both sides, and the pink will be in the center of the pink, and then the white will be right there where the white and the pink meet. This is the Small Creator Sunday Challenge that I host every month on the second Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is for YouTube DIYers and creators who have less than 5,000 subscribers, just to, you know, kind of help us grow our channels, and, you know, us little guys need to stick together, right? The month of February obviously has the love theme, and I also included anti-love for those in the know. My co-host is Michelle of Moxie DIY and Java for this month. And yeah, lots of great creators, growing channels. Everybody's got some fantastic work today. Make sure you check out the playlist, which is linked in my description box below, also in the comments. And Michelle's link is also down there too. Make sure you go subscribe to her. And make sure you go watch everybody else too. So as you can see, I threaded the beads on there. And what I'm going to do is a combination of the square knot and the twisted knot for decorative purposes, I guess. I don't know. And there are a lot of different ways, a lot of different knots you can do. I'm going with 2 very simple ones because I'm new to macrame. And honestly, I stink at explaining this stuff, and I don't want to try and tell you something that I'm not even really sure how to explain it myself. So tying it, I just did a knot there, but the first knot that I'm doing is called the square knot. You pull the ones, I start with the left, pull it over top of the 2 center cords. The right one goes underneath those 2 center cords, and I start with the left and then alternate. So as you can see, I was trying to figure out where it was. So I pulled the right one over top of those 2 center cords, and then I feed the left side up underneath those 2 center cords. And for me, I usually just try to tell myself left over, left under. I don't know. It works for me. Mnemonic device, I guess that's what it is. Like I said earlier, if you saw my video from Friday, I did the square knots a little bit in that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the square knot down a little ways, and then I'm going to switch to that twisted knot, which I used on the rest of the wreath form here. And I will I'll pull a bead up through and incorporate that as well. So there they are. As you can see now, once I'm to the ends, I can go ahead and start adding my feathers. I used a lot of cord because I wasn't sure how long I wanted to make stuff, and how big I wanted to make the feathers. But it's better to have too much than not enough, right? There are ways to add additional cord when you run out, but I'm not sure what they are. I was winging it. So what I'm going to do is figure out about how long I want to make, or about how wide I want my feathers to be. And I'm just going to go down ways, and again, following with this gradient, I'm going to go down and I'm going to use the colors, white, pink, red, pink, white, red, red, pink, white. I think I can't remember, but there was a method to my madness, I think. So I'm just going to cut all of my cord for my feathers, and I just do like a loop tie to those center bits to create the feathers. And this is how I chose to put them on, which I don't actually know why I did it this way, but I did. And I mean, it turns out okay in the end, but if I thought about it at the time, I wouldn't have done it this way. I would have just done like a square knot to attach these. Just going in alternating directions and looping them over. I guess it's a lark's head knot on either side of, yeah. Well, you can see it. Left and right, left and right. Man, I really suck at explaining things. So I just do that for all of my pieces of my feathers. I use this lark's head knot on these smaller strands of cord to create my what's going to turn into feathers. And I won't show the entire process. It's basically the same thing all the way around to make these feathers using this same knot to attach these. The fun part comes when you're later, after it's all said and done, and you try to fray the edges, which I'm not kidding when I say I worked on these things for days because, again, you know, it was painful for my hands. So I'm showing that I'm going to go down a little ways with the white, and then I'll switch to another color, and so on and so on. And I do the same thing, alternating the colors on all of them. So as you can see, I've got the first layer of color here. I've got the red, the pink, the white, and now I can go on and add the extra colors. So I'll do pink and then white, and then so on and so forth. And next you fray the cord, and I use a wire brush, but it wasn't working fast enough for me. I don't know why, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to, yeah, spend a lot of time on these and really get them untangled, untwisted. So once I have them all untwisted, then I will take the wire brush and brush them out so they're all separated nicely. See, as you can see, because they're twisted so tightly, you know, they do try to curl right back up again if you don't, you know, stay on top of it, I guess. This is probably these were the hardest part of this. So I'm using a flat iron, which I thought it was going to work at first, but ended up that it just, yeah, it was going to take way more effort to flat iron all of these strands, but it does do the trick. Maybe my little portable one here probably just wasn't good enough for it, but so ironing out all of the cord is really the key here. So what I'm going to do is use some heavy spray starch, because I don't actually have any hairspray. So I'm using heavy spray starch and spraying the ever-loving crap out of this stuff, and then using my iron, pressing it several times. I use several layers. I probably sprayed 2 or 3 times. Also, you know, brushing as I go, untangling or detangling, all of that stuff. I just do this process several times until I get it laying how I want it to, and then letting everything dry out nicely so it retains its shape but is still soft. If I had hairspray, I probably could have used that and it would have maintained its shape, but it wouldn't have been soft. So that was why I used the spray starch, and it works out pretty well. So brushing, combing, and then iron, you know, and spray, and repeated the process until I was happy with the way that the cord was laying, you know, and stuff like that. And it is still wet, but I'm going to go ahead and cut into just a basic feathery shape here. It works better when it's dry, I can tell you that. I'm just kind of, again, I'm just winging it. I'm just winging it. I didn't use a pattern, just, you know, kind of eyeballing it. And that, it worked perfectly fine for me. And because I didn't use a template to cut the other ones out, well, its counterpart, the left-right counterpart, I just used it as its own template and just kind of cut around what I already did, if that makes any sense. And I did that with all of them. All the ones that I did on the left, I just copied the shape onto the ones on the right. And that's pretty much all it was. And here I'm just taking some of the red cord and making a hanger. I'm doing 3 strands, doubled for, doubled, and using the lark's head knot again to loop it. And I'm just going to braid it and add a wood, one of those little wood hoop round circle things. I don't know what they're called. Just those little round things, those little round hoops for the hanger. But I'm going to do like a flat braid. I'm not knotting anything. I'm just going to flat braid, and then I will attach the little round hoopy bit to it. And there's my hanger, and that'll be that. And let me show you the reveal. Here it is, all done. The macrame heart wreath. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Make sure you check out the rest of the playlist. That is linked, as well as Michelle's link. And make sure you spread that YouTube goodness. Like, comment, subscribe on everybody's videos. They worked really hard on their stuff. We're all trying to grow our channels. And that's what the whole point of this this challenge is. So all the smaller channels can come together. Okay, I really appreciate you guys coming to watch. I know my video is late. It is literally 4:21 on Sunday as I'm doing this voiceover, trying to edit. My computer's been giving me fits, and it's been a mess. So I really appreciate you guys coming to watch. Thank y'all so much. Have a great week, y'all. Take care. Bye.